welcome. Lovely that you as always, and you, and lovely to see you guys as well. Thank you for coming. Makes it a bit more nerve-wracking, but never mind. So today we're going to do a full moon yin yoga practice. So I know that the moon isn't, we can't see it, but it is always there. So I might talk about the moon a bit, but it is still in the sky, you know, even though it's bedtime, so we can still feel that energy. Now, this will be a really slow, reflective practice today, using the idea and the energy of the full moon. So we're going to try and kind of draw that energy in from the moon. Like, if you think about it, we're on a massive floating ball in the middle of space, aren't we, with a big, massive burning ball of fire, which is the sun, which puts its energy onto the moon, which then puts that energy onto us. So, you know, we can kind of take that energy and use it today. So it will involve holding poses for extended periods of time. And I want you to think about releasing that physical tension as well as that emotional tension as well. So it's going to be quite a restorative class. And I want us to think about how the full moon represents that peak energy. And it needs to be balanced and it needs to return to quiet. So yin is all about yin and yang, it's all about light and dark. And so really want you to try and emphasize slowing down and going with the flow and really cultivating a sense of gratitude for what we've got. So before we start, I just want to ask, is everybody feeling okay today? I know that everybody's done a lot of yoga, so we're feeling quite flexible already. Sonia, you've done lots. You're on your fourth class of the day, I think, aren't you? So we're going to do a lot of rounded postures today. So if you like, if you can find 2 blocks, we're going to kind of do a bit of breath work, and it's going to be included in the first posture that we do. And so what we're going to do is come down into a supported back bend. But we're going to use 2 blocks. So one block should go widthways, and that will support our heads. And then the other block will go in between our shoulder blades. So you might want to wiggle around a little bit. So we're coming down so that our shoulder blades are either side of the block, and then just wiggling around so the head's supported now. If that doesn't feel okay for you today, you can always come down. What we might do halfway through is actually take that top block away. If we can feel that we can extend it, but we'll start like this. Relaxing the feet out, and then relaxing the arms out to the side. We can bend the legs if that feels more comfortable. I think that gives us a little bit more support on the back if we feel any strain. And then when we're ready, using bolster if you need to, onto the knees, hands out to the side if you want to work on those shoulders too. What I want you to think about is opening that heart chakra now. So opening that chest. Think about extending the arms, stretching the shoulders, and breathing in. And a nice breath out. Just a nice, easy breath for now. Breathing in and out. And on the in breath, thinking about breathing in that energy. Where does it need to go? And on the out breath, maybe releasing any tension that we have. So breathing in, energizing the body, and then breathing out, releasing anything that we no longer need. Easy breaths in and out. In through the nose, and a slow breath all the way out. And I want you to feel your heart center lift towards the full moon. starting to open up Anahata, the heart chakra. Breathing easy or just incorporating a tiny little Ujjayi breath, just very slight, that ocean breath, whatever feels right today. With the eyes, start to think about maybe closing them if they aren't closed already, and starting to gaze inwards now. Really focusing on the journey that the breath takes as we breathe in through the nose and then out through the nose. Feeling that lift through the heart center, the heart reaching towards the moon with every breath. In and out. Feeling the body soften towards the blocks. Now remembering that today's practice is all about releasing and letting go of the things that are weighing you down or holding you back. So from here, I want to invite you to set an intention, focusing around something that you would like to release. Leave behind on the mat with your exhale. Maybe setting your intention in the mind or speak it out loud, please feel free. Thinking about concentrating on this through the flow today. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like to hold this supported back bend for 10 more breaths. You can keep the block supporting your head, or if you'd like to take this any further, you're very welcome to take, and you don't have any neck issues, you're very welcome to take that block away so that the head comes down to the floor. We'll stay here or stay supported, whatever feels right today. And then if you take one more deep breath in, and as we breathe out, you can flip the hands so they're down to the floor. If we raise one leg, bend the knee, if it's not already lifted, then the other. And then if you can just roll to one side to take the blocks away. When you're ready. And then just rolling up to seated. And just taking a breath here. So we're going to move into a gentle twist now. And there's a few ways that you can get into this. I quite like to start in a fetus. So we kind of start like this, blade on one side with our knees bent and our arms, our palms on top of one another. And then what we do very, very gently, we can keep the gaze this way. We move over to the other side of the room. Now our gaze can go here, or it can stay here just to reduce the stretch. This is a really nice stretch on the back. If the stretch is too intense, we can move the feet towards the glutes, or we can keep more of a right angle if we want to intensify that stretch. So different modifications. So if we come down now, and then we move to the opposite side. and breathe. And we're going to stay here for about 3 minutes. Breathing, thinking about the gaze. What feels right for us today. So this should be giving us a nice shoulder and chest stretch again. And we're also stretching our side and our back. So releasing any tension that you have with breath. And that's it, not only physical tension, that's emotional tension as well. So think about letting go. Breathing in that energy, thinking about where it needs to go, and then releasing anything that you don't need. So one more breath in, and a nice breath out. And then very, very gently, we're going to move the knees, rotate the knees, so then are pointing towards the ceiling. So arms should be out, knees towards the ceiling. And then firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to go into fetus position on the other side. So palms meeting, lying on our side. And then when we're ready, we're going to firstly move the arm over to the other side to get in that nice side twist. Now we could be looking up, we could be looking to the hand, or we could be turning, rotating the head 180 degrees as well to get a bit more of a stretch. Whatever feels right for you today. And breathe. And now we're going to take one more deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're gently going to point the knees towards the ceiling. And then we can rock, but we can roll to the side and come to an easy pose. Everyone feeling okay? So the next one that we're going to do is supported bridge. Is everybody okay with supported bridge? So firstly, what we're going to do is in a moment we'll lay down and then we're going to put a block avoiding the spine underneath the hip bones. So staying here if you wish, or we can put the arms out, or we can put the arms over the top of the heads, and that gives us a nice extra stretch down the side in the shoulders and the triceps. So whatever feels good for you today. If you do want to come out, if that feels too intense, you can always go into normal bridge and move it out, or you can always use a bolster to offer a little bit more support. So whatever feels good for you today. Now, if you want to keep the legs here, that's fine. After 5 breaths, what we will do if you want to move into this position, it is a Kris lifted butterfly. So what we will do is soles of the feet together and let the knees flop down. So 5 breaths in bridge. And when you're ready, if you want to go into this posture, just flop down. Yes. Well, this is a great stretch for the inside of the legs, opening up front of the body, and breathing. We're going to stay here for 5 minutes, so it's quite a long time. If we feel any pressure in the spine, we can always remove the block whenever feels right for you. 10 more breaths here. And on that last inhale, breathing in and out again. And when you're ready, bringing the hands, if you wish, to the outside of the thighs and just pushing the legs together if you're in butterfly. Taking the block or bolster away if you have them underneath you. And then when you're ready, rolling to the side, rolling up into easy pose. So, oh, I forgot to do the counter pose. So we might want to just roll that down because that's quite intensive. You've been doing butterfly. So this is just a nice windscreen wiper. So we're just going to rock the legs from side to side. And if you wish to, if you want to, you can also move your head from side to side as well. And then a few more rocks. And then we'll come into easy pose and we're going to do some cat cows. So crossing the legs either way really. And then on the inhale, we're going to scoop up. And on the exhale, we're going to curl around. So down on the inhale, breathing in and looking up. And on the exhale, curling around. One more on the inhale, breathing up. And on the exhale, breathing around. And then coming to easy pose. Now, I wanted to just incorporate a bit of work on the chakras if we're talking about releasing energy, we're talking about the full moon. So you can sit on a cushion or a bolster. I like to sit on a block for this, but it's not comfy. Just to kind of open up all those channels, those chakra channels in the body. So just want you to think about that energy that flows up and down all the way to the head chakra. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a solar plexus chakra release. So this is all about the solar plexus, and it's all to do with self-confidence and expression. And if we're kind of tight around this area, we can feel a bit restricted. So hopefully it will energize us a little bit and help us kind of release that energy, but also take it in as well. So what we're going to do is on the inhale, we're going to breathe up and reach up and then practice arms. So inhaling and then exhaling gently, rotating to the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. So inhaling, drawing that energy in, exhaling, and one more, inhaling and exhaling. We're just going to sit in easy pose and we'll do that one more time. So when you're ready, so inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Beautiful cactus arms. Inhaling, reaching up, lengthening, exhaling, pulling down, inhaling and exhaling. And then sitting in easy pose. So what we're now going to do is our last pose. And so what I'd like to do is come down into child's pose. So there's a few different ways that we can do this. So we can just come down, sitting back on the, look, obviously bottom, I try and say glutes, and I always forget the word. Sitting back on the glutes, and we can just reach forward, head down. If you want to take it a bit further and get that stretch on the inside of the legs, you can bring the knees out to the side of the mat. Or if you want to take a bit more of a supported child's pose today, you can have the box there, and you can kind of rest the chin or the forehead, whatever feels right today. So we're going to come down into our chosen child's pose for today. Breathing in and melting into the pose. Just taking a few deep breaths in and out. Breathing in and trying to maybe feel like or see or recognise any space that you've now created in your body, not only from this class, but I suppose from the whole day, because we've all done a lot of yoga. So breathing in and breathing out and kind of acknowledging that space that we now have. And hopefully we've released something in some way that doesn't serve us in this full moon practice. And in these last few minutes, I want to encourage you to invite an intention in. Something that you want to invite in that you deserve or desire. Setting it into your mind and sending this through your breath. So all together, just want to invite you to take a deep breath in through the nose and a slow breath out. Sliding the hands back towards the knees and rolling the body up, coming into a seated pose. Now, hopefully we kind of feel like we've created something in the physical body, and hopefully we kind of feel like we've released something a little bit in our mental minds as well. So in these last few minutes, I just want to invite you to come down into Shavasana. So please feel free to get whatever you need, a blanket, a bolster. The cushions are quite nice, not to be introduced me to these. I've been struggling with that kind of head comfort before. So if you just want to kind of relax on the mat, and we'll take ourselves into a Shavasana. And just before Shavasana, I just thought this was really fitting for you, and I have read it on one of our yoga days before, and it's just a short poem. It's about kind of that tension that we have sometimes and those expectations, and it's just about kind of releasing and letting go. So what I'll do is I'll just, if hopefully you don't mind, do this short poem, and then I'll just play the music, we'll listen to one song, and then we'll come back around, okay? So this poem is called I Worried by Mary Oliver. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading? Or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing, and gave it up, and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. Playing your fingers, bringing some movement back into the body. Maybe having a stretch. In your own time, maybe rolling over to one side and then gently coming up into a seated position. And so heart centre, namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you. It was all a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, that was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, that was beautiful. Music at the end was awesome.
Do you know what? It was just so serene. It was just really lovely.
Oh,
Really lovely.
thank you. Very nerve-wracking because you